Caleb, you feeling it?
Yeah, buddy.
Are you feeling it?
Are you feeling it?
Little Sweat Equity podcast. We don't have a guest today, but we're going to get into it. We're going to get a little, maybe a little routine, maybe a little bit how to be a man, maybe about growing up. Who knows? We're going to get into it. Let's do it. That song freaking fires me up,
Gets it
buddy.
going.
Yeah, I'm not a good editor, so it just kind of, I was trying to talk over how it just drops off at the end there.
Yeah, they won't notice that it doesn't fade out.
And as I paused, it went, we were just talking about this off air before we started. We've been doing this this is episode 9.
Yeah.
And the
Which
feedback.
it's crazy to think this is 9.
Yeah. Well, as much as we talk about how many things we want to talk about on this podcast and who we want to get on this podcast, it's been actually a little bit overwhelming, the feedback we've gotten from people that, friends of friends, people, what I would consider the friends of friends are the people like, I'm not going to text them to hang out, but we're friendly when I see them. Like I'll talk to them at a bar. Yeah,
your friend might bring them to the party.
Yeah.
But you would never call them. Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh shit, Jamal. Yeah. We're not hanging out.
Yeah.
Not because
he's riding with William Forrester. Busy.
Well, I mean, if you want to go right there, then that's fine. But no, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I listened to this one, and then I've been going backwards and listening to the earlier ones, and I was like, whoa, that's cool. I've been doing the Triple Option podcast, a college football one, for 4 years, and basically have had better feedback in the 2 months we've been doing this.
In 9 episodes.
Over 4 years of college football knowledge. But I don't care. I'll take it. If you want to support the show, we don't have any advertisers yet. But if you want to support the show, we'll do a plug for ourselves. Just tell a friend. Just if you like the podcast, just tell a buddy.
That's all you got to do.
Means a lot to us. Do a review. If you want to take that extra step further, if you want to be read in Shawshank Redemption, there's a rock that doesn't look like any other. Make sure you lift it up. And that's called the subscribe button on iTunes.
That's right.
And you lift that up, and then you do a little review. Hey, I love the Shawshank references.
Man Wantanejo.
And then and I was going to try to do a Morgan Freeman, but I haven't tried one in a while. It's like...
Oh, no. We're starting off pretty good. Let's not go there.
All right. Maybe I'll slip it in at the end.
Okay.
But if you want to do that, we love it. We love the feedback. Give us feedback. If you want to ask a question for the show, hit us up at hit me up email-wise, law, L-A-W, at tocoworks, TOCOWORKS.com. Caleb has the same email surname, I think it's called, or email address, but it's Caleb at tocoworks.com. We love any questions. I'm waiting till my my groomsmen, my friends that want to fuck with me, are going to put in well, how many dildos should I buy if I'm going to start a dildo factory? So I'm waiting for those.
It's all about cost benefit, folks.
And then we'll do a real plug where we would have an advertiser. We're just going to plug things we like. We're going to keep that going for Spicy Addict. Okay. If you want to go on, you got your computers open right there?
Yeah, I got my computers going.
So hit up with a friend of the program, our buddy Mark, out over in the West Coast, over in L.A., representing Toco Works out there. A little, what we call a client partner, where he's talking to people. But he hit me up last night and said, hey, I've got this friend of a friend. He's got this Spicy Addict. Can you help him out? I started looking at it, and I was like, you know what? As silly as it is about doing a site where reviews on spicy food, I do think there's a niche that is quality.
There's a huge niche for this.
I'm not a spicy guy.
I'll be honest with you. This is the first time I've been on the website. Super impressionable, super clean, easy to use, to read. And
he's got recipes.
It's almost like it pulls you in. Like you kind of want to eat something spicy now. You want to find, something in that avenue.
So, but I love it. I like that it's a good resource. He has a meter on. There's some kind of like almost like how earthquakes are counted by Geigers. It's a Geiger counter, not counted by Geigers, but a Geiger counter.
Right.
He's got like some kind of pepper meter, some kind of spice meter that I forget the name of it. I don't know if you want to bring that up, but
I do want to mention there's an after death sauce.
What's that?
The after death sauce. Let me click more info here.
Because it has a rating for everything, almost like if you looked at Auto Trader and it has like miles on the car.
I'm assuming this sauce is you're still gonna feel it after you're dead. Is what I'm assuming it is.
I see. I'm a puss. I like Chipotle's. Like that's as far as I go, man.
Yeah.
And my
when
wife,
I go to Thai restaurants to get Thai, I always just make them look me dead in the eye and say, do not make it spicy. Whatever you do. And they're like, it's not spicy. And you're full of shit. Because last time I couldn't even eat it. All right. That's a good point.
They're probably not
points for law.
They're looking up. Who knows?
But it's just one of those things where everything they do has spice in it. And I'm like, for the love of God, if you make this spicy, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to flip this table over.
Don't you feel like a total puss when all your boys you're around and they're throwing on like just God, what's that red? Not Tabasco's like
Sriracha.
Dog shit. Not sriracha.
I can do sriracha. Sriracha's nice.
That's not it's
Sriracha's probably not even on spicy.
Louisiana's hot. That hot sauce.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I know what you're talking about. I know there's Tabasco, Crystal.
Like Tabasco's like natty light.
Yeah,
spices.
It's like water and peppers mixed together.
Hot sauce.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, that's a longer plug than I wanted to do, but
we got it in.
SpicyAddict.com. They got I think 78,000 likes on Facebook, about 24,000 likes on Instagram. So they've got some stuff going and they got some traffic and reached out to us for a little bit of help, little branding help. So I like their logo. It kind of looks like our little flame, but it's got a little pepper in it. I like that. I like clean, simple logos that you could draw on a cocktail napkin if you had to.
Yeah, they did it right.
All right. So we're talking about what's going on in our lives, and we're working our dicks off. Literally, no dick. I look like a eunuch, like a Ken doll.
A mangina.
Mm-hmm. And it becomes unraveled kind of during the holiday season. And that's where I kind of regroup.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing this on Friday before this is posted on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
This is January 8th. And, I kind of told the wife, I was like, hey, I'm going to sleep in because I own my own business. It's slow all the way around. And I'm just going to I'm going to work from home, but I'm going to like sleep in till 9, something like that. Something crazy.
Treat yourself.
Right. A little bit. But it ends up kind of fucking me up more than anything.
Yeah.
If I would have just stayed disciplined throughout the holidays, it wouldn't be so hard to get back into a routine.
And I think that's what everyone is saying right now. I mean, if you are that person who didn't go off your carb count during the holidays or didn't just overindulge and didn't drink too much beer with your buddies and didn't, just stay out too late because people are in town that aren't usually in town, whether they're family or friends. If you didn't do that, you suck. I think that's what and I'll give you props. I'll give you a little tip of the cap, but that's what the holidays are kind of for.
There's a night of 7 beers and there's a night of 17 beers, and it's kind of like, do I need 17? I'm married. What am I?
Yeah, but I think
nervously drink.
I think the most important part is that you've got to get in your good times, because that's when everyone's home. That's when everybody's back. That's when they're home with the kids, but they can get away from the kids and see you. And if they have kids, I know we have family friends that we grew up with in high school that now have kids. That's like the thing now.
You want to know the move?
People are reproducing. I don't understand it. But
you want to know the move?
Give me the move.
I've done this with good friends.
Up, down, B, left trigger.
Up, down, left, right, select,
pull
start.
Gotcha.
That's Contra. That's 99 lives, guys. If we don't get this is a free podcast, so I don't know. I know you could Google that, and I think I butchered that. But anyway, the move is if your friends are having kids and you don't get to see them, what I've been doing is I go, me and the wifey will get food and bring it over to your house.
There you go.
And we'll have dinner at your place,
Yeah.
but you don't have to cook. And it's very low key. Don't worry about
And
anything.
your kids don't have to
we'll
be
see
there.
the kids. No. The kids
Okay.
can be there. It's just like they can't. They're trapped.
Yeah,
they're
they
in
can't get
jail.
out. Yeah.
Like they can't leave. So we do that, and it. You know what? It ends up being really cool for them. And on the other side, hang out with their kids just enough to where you're like 2 hours. That's great.
Yeah.
And then I'm out.
Perfect.
And then that's enough to be like, okay.
You're like, you want to put them down real quick?
I'm living a different life. When you're married and you've dated your fiance longer than I've dated and married my wife.
Yeah, well, that's just I fear change.
I mean, we were talking about routine before we started this podcast.
Yeah.
And give the listeners a breakdown of like, this is kind of something we fight about a lot. Sleep schedule.
Yeah.
You got to get on some kind of like there needs to be a flex plan of some sort. It doesn't exist for the guys for some reason.
Yeah, I think our schedule basically, for me, I'm sad to admit and say it runs off her schedule.
This is getting sensitive.
It's like when she wants. This is tough for me, man. I don't go here often. All right, I don't go here often.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when she wants to go to bed, she's like, "All right, let's go to bed." And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, let's go to bed?" I'm like, I want to stay up and watch Making of a Murderer and see if I can figure this thing out.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go to bed.
I've got to watch Corrupt.
But
Cops.
she'll like when she's done watching TV, she doesn't like get up and hand me the remote. Excuse me. She just turns the TV off and she's like, "All right, let's go to bed." And I'm like, "What?
Wow.
Are you serious?"
Yeah.
So
And you watch those shitty shows with her, right?
No. Like,
I mean, you
Making
like
of a Murderer is a great show.
Oh no, that's great. That's fine.
But that's what we've been on lately. That's why I bring that up. But it's I don't watch all. She watches all those housewife shows. Listen to past episodes. You guys know what she watches at this point. It's terrible TV. It's all trash. It's not real. None of it's real. It's all staged. It's fake drama. But she just turns off and she loves it. So, and my point of bringing it up when we go to bed is when she gets up, it's like she's like, "All right." She's like, "Why don't we get the dog going? Why don't we get breakfast going?" I'm like, "What? Huh? I'm asleep. Why are you talking to me?"
Well, there's
Like,
no
you're
possessive.
you're the one that woke up. Like you make breakfast. But obviously, she's kind of got me tied around a finger right now. I get up a little bit, make some breakfast, we get the dog going. We try to walk the dog together. Okay.
That's adorable.
It is. It's really nice. Well, it's more of a security thing because we live in not hip neighborhood where Law lives.
Ooh.
And we live in sketchy town.
Mm-hmm.
And so where we are, it's kind of more of an accountability thing. You don't do anything without a partner or in a group. So we walk the dog together.
The buddy system?
She forgot her phone one time when she was walking the dog, and I thought she was gone too long. So I was like peeking out the door. I'm like, "Oh, she'll be back any second." And she wasn't coming back. And I was like walking down the street in my pajamas. And I'm like, "Hey, you want to speed up a little bit? Kind of thought you got killed." So thanks for that.
A lot of things in that. All right.
Yeah.
A, you wear pajamas.
Yeah.
I've never understood pajamas when we're in Florida.
I don't understand pajamas that have pockets in them. My pajamas are pocketless. So they're good. Therefore,
I don't understand.
They're good.
Wait, hold on. Now we've got a big debate now.
I was disturbed when I found out there were pajamas with pockets.
Why wouldn't you want pockets?
What are you going to put in your pockets when you're going to sleep?
What?
What are you going to hold on to?
Well, weed?
No.
Well, me? Yes.
You're going to sleep with it?
Well, I mean, like,
Is Mona pinching off you?
if I'm like, shuffling around, not quite ready to go to bed, because my closest thing to
just going to roll a joint in bed?
No, that would be fucking baller. I wish I could do that.
You don't have that luxury, buddy.
No. I do blunts in the bed always.
All right.
I want them to stink really bad in there. No, I got a volcano for Christmas. That's pretty sweet.
That's pretty nice.
Doesn't stink. Pretty awesome. Little vaporizer shaped like a volcano. My baby wants to keep me clean. That's fine.
Nothing wrong with that.
I've never, but we're both guys that sweat like
Yeah.
Gerard Depardieu. Like
CC episode 7 meat sweats.
yeah, I mean like I can't believe you can wear pants to go to bed.
Well, they're not. I mean, they're not. It's not always pants. It's not like I have a matching uniform on to catch some Z's.
That's what I'm thinking.
No, I mean I have pajama bottoms. Like I don't wear them all the time. I'm
picturing like Jimmy Stewart like in pajama. Like, oh wow, pajamas.
It's more. It's more of whatever's at the top of the drawer that I just kind of grab and put on. I don't have like a uniform I check in with, and I'm like, hey, Caleb, present for bed, and she's like, let me check your uniform. It's more of just, all right, I got on.
That would be a good marriage. Ready?
Yeah, can't wait for this. I got on. It's more basketball shorts, a little like a dry fit shirt.
Yeah.
And like I just kind of, I don't know, I just do whatever.
Okay.
Because I sleep with a fan directly on me.
Oh my God.
To the point where I want to be cold, so I like sleep with a shirt on sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's just that fan, the noise, and I don't hear the dog barking at night. She does. She stays up at night.
So if anybody's listening right now and they're like, what the fuck are they meandering about? What does this have to do
We'll get into it.
Small business, small business work and how to do that. This does kind of apply because sleep's like the anchor of everything.
It's everything.
And you can kind of, I don't know if you've ever had this. I think at one point I got myself trained down to like, when I was really, when I was like probably 23, 24, I was able to train myself enough when I was working long hours at an office job at a mutual fund company and then going out every night to do stand-up as much as I could. I wasn't drinking a lot, and I trained myself to get down to about 5.5, 6 hours every night, and I could function fine. Now, I don't know, man. Anything under 6, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Like today has been a little rough.
And it's you know it when you first wake up. You feel it right away.
So
right away.
This is more about like human capacity than anything. Like routine keeps you in that zone where you're like, all right, I see everything. I don't know if you see it this way. I see every day as a punch list, and I go, okay, we've got this. There's some day on my punch list. There's some things like feed the dogs, walk the dogs. That's every day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's your everyday tasks that are on there.
Beat off in the shower so your wife can't hear
quiet
you
as possible
while she's brushing her teeth.
Right.
That's always on there. She could see in the mirror, but I don't know. She doesn't look.
When that box is checked, it's going
Right.
to be a pretty good day.
There's stuff like that every day. But there's also like, all right, a couple times a day, if I'm at my best, I'll stretch.
Yeah.
If I take 10 minutes to not be an asshole and stretch, that's going to save me. Here's what it's going to help me. It's going to give me more energy. I'll bitch less. I won't be in pain.
Yes.
And I'll feel like way more fluid to handle meetings late in the day and at night and stuff, or be on stage late at night when you don't want to be.
Well, and that kind of gets us into a little bit of the morning routine of, a lot of people work out in the morning, and there's proven benefits to better brain function and better quality of brain activity throughout the day when you exercise in the morning. Now, a lot of people probably don't believe this. They think that's weak, man. That's not a good workout. Stretching falls in that category.
Oh, dude, stretching's the worst.
Stretching's one of the most important things you can do in terms of blood flow, of controlling your breathing, and mental focus when you're doing it in the morning is one of the most beneficial things you can do in the morning to set your day up in order to be, keep that brain activity high. And honestly, the time you have the most brain activity is going to be, and there's studies on this. We'll post some links, and you guys can Google it. I mean, you guys have computers. You're sitting at a red light. Put that on your phone.
No. People are listening to this while they're doing other things. So we'll post it on the site.
No, we'll definitely post it for you. But some of the highest brain activity you're going to get all day comes an hour and a half to 2 hours after you have a morning workout. That could count as a 20-minute walk. Go walk your dog 20, 30 minutes. If you've got an hour, do it. A lot of people don't have an hour. But that goes back to what we talked about in previous episodes. We've all got the same 24 hours in a day. If you've got a goal in mind health-wise, you should probably create an hour for exercise each morning. If you don't, and you're just kind of in it to walk around and to kind of wake up the senses, wake up the brain a little bit, stretching and a 20, 30-minute walk is more than enough to get that brain activity flowing with what you need to get through your day to knock all those things off that list.
Yeah, man. And it kind of goes back to, so I heard a thing from, I think it was Ron Paul. I want to say it was Ron Paul.
Okay.
I really like Ron Paul.
Okay. That's cool.
What, you don't like Ron Paul?
I do not like Ron Paul.
Look,
I'm kind of
if you watch that
Ron
video
Paul.
of all the shit like he predicted, it's like it's like a crazy 10-minute video of him on C-SPAN or something.
It's just not a name I hear that often. So it's kind of like when someone's like, I like Ron Paul. It's kind of like,
I love Ron Paul.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
I wish he would have been the president. People are like, he's too old. It's like, okay.
It's like, you're too old. Get out of this ball pit.
He basically, I'm pretty sure this was a story he had or an interview he had where he thinks of his work week as almost a grid. And he sleeps like 6 hours a night or something like that.
Right.
And so you go, okay, now I have 18 other hours in the day. He always made sure to exercise and stretch. He always made sure to make sure he'd take like 20 minutes to go, for a walk and breathe. And I think he was on that nap game too.
I think naps they're so important, but they're so hard to come by.
I can't do it. I want to be that guy. I can't do it.
I could do it because for me, falling asleep is pretty simple. Maybe it's the extra weight, but
are you like a black dude? You can fall asleep like no problem.
Yeah. I mean, I'm borderline narcoleptic.
If anybody's like, whoa, that's racist. All right, look, man.
No, that's not. It's not.
My black comedian friends, if I'm like, hey, man, you can just nod out, and they're like, cool, I'll get 5 minutes. And, and it's like, what? How do you do that? It's so cool.
I've kind of found like if I fake sleep, I'll end up asleep, and that's kind of how I think of it. Like if I'm like, all right, I got 20 minutes, I need to catch a nap. I just pretend I'm sleeping and I fall asleep. It sounds like the beginning of a Tom Segura joke, but it's not. This is a real fucking thing I do, and it works every time. But I don't get that many opportunities to take naps because Law and I we do different things, but we're in very similar schedules and very similar modes. We can't just shut our eyes, turn off. It's tough to turn off for 20 minutes even.
I've been doing it.
Oh, have you? Okay.
I've tried.
Right.
You know what? And I used to do this too when I was talking about when I was like 24 and like kind of burning the candle at both ends a bit.
Oh, yeah.
I would go to work I'd get up at 5:36, drive an hour out to Downey, California.
Okay.
Where Evan Longoria is from.
And that's normal out there for people that aren't from out there. That's probably normal drive, no?
No, it's far as fuck. That's why I was like, if I'm going to do this, I have to get up early. I have to get in the office earlier before everybody else so I can get out earlier so I can leave. So if I can get in here.
So that I'm not here.
Right. Because if I got to about 4:30, I'd add another hour and a half to my drive back.
Yeah, that's terrible.
So from like Marina Del Rey, Venice Beach area to Downey is like, I want to say like 11 miles or something like that. But 11 miles for most cities, small cities like we are in Tampa.
Wait, so it was an hour for an 11-mile drive?
Oh, yeah.
How?
Oh, yeah. And that's in the morning, and then that's at like 3:45, I'd skip lunch. I'd work through lunch. I'd just be like, give me whatever you're getting. I'm going to crush this like pussy I wasn't getting.
Could you get get home faster if you rode a bike?
No.
No?
No, and I'd be sweaty. I'd have to like.
But like you're going home, right?
Yeah, but I'd have to like get there on a bike, presumably.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's why I don't ride a bike in Florida. I just sweat
I'm thinking only the ride home, but
yeah.
that's insane. I mean, an hour
then
in the car.
I'd profile on the 110. I'd profile if it was a Mexican painter truck where there's like it was always like because I had to go down to LAX and then you had to shoot over, and that's basically the route. Someone I was like hanging out with that I took out that way, like towards downtown one time, I was like, you got a profile on the road, and they're like, you're an asshole. And I was like, no. If it's an old shitty Ranger with no backseat bed and it's just a long bed and it's full of shit, that they're not going fast enough because they don't want to get pulled over.
Yeah. And it's probably a different game out in Cali than it is out here. No? You think it's probably a different game out here? Same game.
A little bit. I think South Florida's got that kind of shit on lock from all the nearby countries. But Tampa's got a little bit of that. It's a little bit more white trashy, shitty than anything. Yeah. But
welcome to Florida.
Yeah. The more north you get, the more southern you get.
That's right.
And so, what was I saying? I would get in that routine, and I come home, and I go, all right, get back. I crash for 20 minutes. I have to make myself do this. I was disciplined as shit. I go, you have to turn off the phone, turn off everything, no TV. You just have to lay there for 20 minutes and just chill. Sometimes I'd fall asleep. Sometimes I wouldn't. If I made it to like 45 minutes, that's fine. That was my window. That's the game I play with myself.
Yeah.
But I'd sit down and just breathe and try to fall asleep. And guess what? Fucking felt like I took a nap. It did. It literally just felt like I took a nap.
Well, and that's, I mean, we could do a whole episode on, that's kind of getting into more of the breathing techniques, meditation. Yeah, thanks. Want to thank the fine folks at Coppertail Brewing over here in Ybor City, Florida, for providing their Wheat Stroke American wheat beer for us tonight. It is rather tasty and refreshing, and it's a Friday night for us, so Law and I are kind of cracking a few beers as we go here, so don't mind us. But like I said, getting into meditation and breathing techniques, you can kind of make the mind take a nap without actually getting into that that REM mode and getting those falling into a full deep sleep. You can kind of have the same effect. I know for me, when I'm taking a nap, while I can fall asleep by using my pretend to fall asleep technique.
Yeah, I'm gonna borrow that.
I honestly, when I have taken a nap, like if it's during a work day or something like that, if I've kind of snuck out for 20, 30 minutes.
Well, you're getting up at 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, like that's a lot different than the normal 9 to 5.
But that's not what most. It's kind of one of those things where we're in a society. Any sleep is like you're not a hard worker. You're not bought in. You're not
right.
you're not down for the cause. Why are you sleeping? You sleep when you're dead. And it's kind of like, that's a really unfoolish or very foolish way to look at things right now as far as from a productivity standpoint.
Oh, I totally agree.
So, I'm all for it. I say if someone has the luxury at their job, or whether they've started their own business or they're still working for the man, if you've got the luxury to take a nap, you are going to thank yourself 30 minutes later. We all hit that 2 o'clock wall. You go to lunch, you eat lunch, you come back, that food sets in. It's kind of giving you that little boost you need, and now you're on your way back down. It's 2:30, going on 3. You've got 2 more hours before you can go home. You're miserable.
Yeah.
You're probably in front of a computer. You've got a meeting to go to. You're not sharp. If you can get a nap in somewhere there after lunch, I promise you're going to feel better, feel sharper, and you're just going to be able to knock those tasks out.
No, have you heard the new, this is my new, I hate this phrase that I've heard a bunch in the last week, is sitting is the new smoking. Have you heard that?
Yeah. Consider me addicted because I drive a lot for work. I'm sitting.
That's tough.
A lot.
And to help your routine, I got in the routine when I was driving a lot for any
standing
job.
while driving.
Okay, yeah, that's another way to do it. Give yourself roadhead, which is it's half roadhead. It's just your hand. But that might drive you to sleep. No pun intended. It may drive you to sleep. But
right.
I would try to make every call I had to. So sometimes I'd take 3 minutes, write down every number I had to call, and what I needed to call them about, and just, all right, I got an hour drive to this next meeting. I'm going to knock out as much bullshit as I can while I'm driving. And then if I ran out, I'd go, all right, I'd sit there for if I can't think of someone I need to call in the next 5 minutes, then I can fuck off and listen to a podcast like this. But I'm like, all right, because either I have to do it, I'm going to have to do it at some point.
Well, if you can't think of someone in 5 minutes you should call someone and tell them about the podcast. That's what should be happening at that point.
Pretty much.
I know you guys aren't there yet, but next time you're in the car, can't think of someone to call, go to the last person you call on your phone and be like, by the way, I forgot to tell you, you need to listen to the Sweat Equity podcast.
Caleb works for Amway. No. Then you tell 3 friends, and then you tell 3 friends.
Guys, this isn't a Ponzi scheme, okay? There's money in this. Trust me.
So the routine, you need sleep. You need a good amount of sleep, but you got to discover what your amount of sleep is. You need some kind of cardio every day.
Every day.
Especially.
Even if it's, I mean, this is what, I just want to stress this. I didn't mean to interrupt all, but even if it is walking slow, it does not matter. You have to get that in.
Yeah.
There's an article, we're going to post a bunch of them, but there's an article that states and kind of researches what happens to your body when you stop exercising. So if you haven't exercised in 3 weeks, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, kind of can go through all that. It's detrimental. I mean, things start shutting down. Things will stop working properly and stop working in their entirety if you don't use them. And it's not the 40-year-old version joke. Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it? It's like, kinda. I mean, with when it comes to this health and the benefits that you're getting from kind of keeping your motor running throughout the day, you will lose it.
Yeah.
So go on with the exercise.
Well, no. So I've been wearing a Fitbit. I'm on my wife's health insurance because why would we both pay for health insurance? She's got it. She works the corporate job.
Oh yeah.
They give you an incentive to have the Fitbits.
That's pretty nice.
It is and it isn't. It's a flawed system, but it's better than nothing. Because I tried to do this wasn't favorable on stage, but I tried to say like I don't really agree with universal health care because, and I didn't say this part, but I said like when you're given something for free, it has the value of 0, and I 100% believe that in every which way.
Yeah.
If you're given a car, you treat it like shit. If you're given things, it doesn't have nearly amount value unless you've come from like a war-torn country that like you're like, whoa, this is amazing. This is great. Everything's amazing. But when if I'm speaking realistically in American capitalistic terms, if you give shit away for free, it has the value of 0.
Yeah.
And there always needs to be a social contract with whatever. We talk about kids getting lunches at school and breakfast. I don't really agree with that either.
There was a huge story this morning on that, and I'll let you keep going.
No, go ahead.
Well, and it just kind of shed some lights in my eyes. I mean, I've been out of the public school system for quite some time now. So have you. But I guess what's going on now is, you can apply and qualify for like a discount lunch, and that was in school when I was still in high school. But now what they do is they like actually have a credit system where you can just like charge all your lunches and then you've got to square up at like the end of the month, I think, or something like that. So what happens is when your bill gets over $25, you have to square up. They will feed you. It's literally 2 slices of bread and 2 pieces of cheese in between those slices of bread. It's a cheese sandwich that you get for lunch until your bill is squared up. So this girl, her bill wasn't squared up. She owed like $25 and some change. So she went to go get lunch and it was a cheese sandwich, and she like posted it on Instagram and all this stuff, and it got this huge uproar from all these parents. But at the same time, the way the system works, the parents know.
It's the parents.
You've got, dude, and they said 90% of the accounts that were behind, it equated to like the school was owed $56,000.
God,
and
what
people who owed money for lunch, 90% of those accounts, those parents did not qualify for reduced lunch. So their household income was over $100,000 or more. So they had the means to pay for $25 to get their account caught up.
Wow.
And the girl's like, well, I'm eating this cheese sandwich, and it's not the girl's fault. I don't expect the girl to pay for it. She's somewhere between 14 and 18. I don't expect her to be able to pay for it, but you can't square that up. And if they do qualify for the lunch, for the reduced lunch, then just drop the bill on their account. Like if they qualify, they qualify. So yeah, that whole thing was kind of interesting, and that really caught my eye this morning. So it's funny you said that.
I think it had, for that reason, you just kind of backed up that state.
Yeah.
when you give shit away, like everybody wants to suck off Bernie Sanders, and it's like that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think we're in a no man's land for the president. But
Yeah,
I try to
I
tell
would agree with
everybody
that.
as well. The president doesn't really do that much. It's
Yeah, no, I agree.
All right,
I agree.
we're
You
getting
thought a
off-
rebuttal was coming. But I
yeah,
agree.
we're getting off topic, but has much changed? Maybe an executive order here and there, but I think my whole theory with that is it's easy to focus on one person to hate.
Yep.
Then I asked the crowd one night, I was like, who's our House of Representatives? And it was like, and it's like, yeah,
Like,
there's a
waitress?
shitload of those. There's 400 of
Yeah.
them. Like, there's, who's our senators?
If you said
Like,
Jim, you'd be right.
right.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, that's the problem. We just want to focus hate on one thing.
Yeah.
The media obviously agitates everybody with that too.
Well, we need a finger to point blame to
Ron Paul.
because we're Americans.
2016. All right. So so what I'm saying is like, all right, the crux of this is always make sure you get the sleep you need. It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Some people work better on 9 and they just have their job and that's all that's going on. You got to get some kind of exercise of some sort. Even if it's 20, 30 minutes a day. You know, I got the yoga mat in the office here, and I've got it at the house.
Yeah.
I got the perfect push-up stuff. It's douchey. I don't care. If I can take 20 minutes and just knock it out while PTI is on or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all the time I've got. Fine, great.
But
That's way better.
And that's what people need to understand is that works. That's better than just sitting throughout the day. Or now I guess they're comparing to smoking cigarettes. I mean, that's just don't be inactive. I think that's the main thing here.
So, and I'll print stuff out when I'm in the office and I'm sitting down too long. I'll print it out so I can stand up and read it. So
Yeah.
it's not, or just go downstairs, go to the coffee shop, sit at a stool.
And a lot of it's blood flow.
Right.
I mean, and that's I don't have the
Yeah, it is.
All right. I don't have the medical background to sit here and talk about it. And if we were, a little better prepared on my end, we'd have someone to enlighten you guys on that. But a lot of it is the benefit of the blood flow. I mean, you sit down all day, you're sitting in front of a computer, you probably have some pretty bad posture to begin with because most people do.
Yeah.
You're just looking at building problems over time. Think about clocking that in for 8 hours every day, year after year after year. And then you're standing up and you're just walking down the stairs or the elevator and you're driving home in hour-long traffic, sitting there again. You've got to do something to break that up, to get the heart rate up. You've got to do something to get the blood flow up, to get the pulse up. It's
Hey, if you got to do Zumba class. I don't care.
Just don't let anyone
Jazzercise,
see you. That's your fault.
Prancercise. I don't give a fuck. Like, do
Is that a
some-
thing? Prancercise?
You never seen the Prancercise video?
No, I'm gonna check it
Oh,
out.
shit.
I'm gonna check it out.
Oh my god, that's like 4 years old.
All right, that's in the show notes. You guys check that out.
Prancercise. I'll put it on the post. So that to me, that's the crux. Those are the things you got to do. You got to knock out whatever you got to do at home, and just routine. It keeps you. Here's the other part. I'll play devil's advocate. I don't like the people that are too struck on their routine, that have they're inelastic. Like they're like, I will be home at 6.
Well, that's what I was talking about a little while ago towards the beginning of the show is like that guy who, I've already had some bread tonight. I think I'm good. And it's like, dude, like it's Christmas, bro. Like
Well,
you can't have another slice of banana bread. You serious?
Well, look, I get that. Just don't say it out loud.
That's what I'm saying is don't let people know that's, you can even not drink and have people not notice.
What?
Yeah, that's
You
true.
can have fun without drinking?
I don't know who'd want. I didn't say it'd be fun, but you cannot drink, and you can do it in a way that people aren't going to be like, "You're not drinking, dude. Are you serious? What's wrong? You pregnant, bro?" Like it's not something that.
Always a good hate.
Yeah, but it's not something that you have to let people. It's kind of a mood killer when there's that guy there. It's like, oh, let's go out to eat. It's like, okay, cool. It's like, I didn't know you were just going to order lettuce, dude. Like you didn't have to come tonight. We could have just phoned you in or something.
Yeah, when I would be in like a training mode, I'd always have like a pre-hate ready to go. I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna get chewed on this, so I better have some some shit in my arsenal.
Exactly.
Ready to rock. Usually, most people at the table were way more out of shape, so it was easy
Yeah.
pickings. But
Yeah.
so routine keeps you in line. It keeps you square. But look, I'm not saying like you have to be diligent, and you need to be about I don't know 90%, 80, 90% on like on point. There's
Yeah.
gonna be shit that comes up. Look, life-changing stuff's gonna happen. You're gonna be sick. That's gonna change shit up.
Yeah.
But if you work out and you have a routine, you'll be less sick. That was more of the
Exactly.
Ron Paul thing.
Exactly. And I want to give a plug. I didn't give a plug at the beginning of the show, but now that we're on it, I've got a good buddy I grew up with
For on it,
who that is not the plug.
Alpha Brain.
Is a new company called Rival Health. And what they do is, this is actually really a cool idea. They go around to companies, mainly companies that are large enough or financially stable enough to provide healthcare options for their employees. And what they do are they put exercise platforms and solutions in place with these companies.
Yeah.
So they educate their employees on being healthy, making healthy choices with food, with exercise, with routine, talking about the importance of routine, both production-wise at work and health-wise, with their minds and bodies. But they have these health incentives in there because there's such big savings for companies now to when their employees are not blowing up their healthcare plan that the company's paying for. So one of my buddy's friends started this thing called Rival Health, and you can go to them at rivalhealth.com. If you've got a big company and you're paying for healthcare plans for your employees, check them out. It could be good to bring them in and educate your employees a little more. They do personalized exercise plans, nutrition plans. They do kind of like competitions, and they have rewards and team challenges. They have all this kind of stuff. Health risk assessments. They go through the whole thing. They even have the Fitbits and the Apple Watches that track these kind of things. So while that system's a little flawed in itself in some ways, it still can be a big benefit to these people.
I'm not going to shit on. I wasn't going to shit on Rival Health. I was saying like. The thing with the Fitbit.
No, I said Fitbit, and I saw that look come across, and I was like, "Oh, here goes a bad plug."
I don't have to. I don't need to wear this.
You've already got a leather bracelet.
I know. I'm doubling up. I know. I'm gonna mix the two. I look like a fucking LA douche, but what I'm saying is, with the Fitbit, Mona, my wife, was saying like, "Oh, we got our points. We knocked that out in a week. You don't need to get it." And I was like. You know what? I want to try to see. I like metrics. Yep. I like stats. If anybody likes fantasy sports, that's kind of how I treat it in my head. I like to see it. Like, got fat as shit over the holiday season. All right, got up to 205. That's the biggest I've been since high school. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, and when I was in high school, I was like working out. Now, I had a gut. I had a little bit of gut.
Really?
I was drinking a lot of beer. A lot of craft beer, dude.
Yeah, and I think that's where it gets sneaky too.
A lot of craft beer.
That's another episode in itself. While delicious, also dangerous.
A lot of craft beer, not a lot of working out, a lot of sleeping in, and it kind of caught up with me, and eating like shit too. So that's a bad hurricane of getting fatter really quick. Within a week, and this is what pisses off women a lot. I got down to like 193. Whoa. Well, yeah, just by doing what we've been talking about. Yeah. Don't get fucked up.
Wait. So this actually works?
All the time. Yeah.
This stuff works?
Eat lean meats, and I hate salads and vegetables, but I'll
mix them in.
I'll push them in there.
Yeah.
But be more active. And I do like the accountability of like, I like flicking around with this thing, and I can see, all right, how many steps I take? Okay. What's my heart rate per minute? Which is interesting in a game in itself. If you get fucked up, what's your heart rate at?
Do not get fucked up and look at that. You will walk to the hospital.
I do. I've done it on stage. I've been on stage, and I was like, because it was like a shitty show, and I'd be like, well, my normal heart rate's really high for not doing anything.
Yeah.
I think that's more of the sweaty kind of.
Yeah.
Burning.
I think we're going to stroke out in about 10 years.
No, I think we burn a lot more, but we're taking a lot more in as well.
I like that way of putting it.
Well, my normal heart rate, like BPM's like in the 90s, and that's a little high, but I'm pretty jacked up for stuff I'm doing. When
Right.
I'm on stage, it's in 80s. And I was like,
Huh.
it's so weird how like I did a show 3 weeks ago, wrote out a set. I was like, I want to do all new material. This is the worst show to do because it's all friends and family.
Yeah.
It's friends of friends. It's Jamal. It's all these people. And then like writing in a set, trying to work it out, jokes I've done maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And then I looked at my Fitbit. It's at like 90, pushing 100. And then I was on stage and fucked around with my my watch, Fitbit, whatever, the Surge, and it was at like 82. And I looked at the
Really?
stats that night. And it's just like resting heart rate. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the thing of like getting anxious for doing new material, but it was an interesting thing. Long story boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like I tell people about their marketing plans, consider the Fitbit stats like your marketing stats for your life.
Yeah.
Look at your human capacity. A lot of people can do more than they realize. It's kind of interesting. Off air, I was telling you, you're going into wedding planning mode, not planning, but like financially planning.
Talk about needing a heart rate monitor.
And
Shit.
and just stressing about that,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually buying a house, possibly trying to buy a house.
Yeah. We're trying.
I'm saying like these are the next steps logically that you're trying to do that you've expressed interest in. It's more. I was telling Mona. I was telling my wife that that like I'm kind of like an old cat. Like if you didn't tell me like we need to go get a house, I'd be like, yeah, we'll just live in this
Gonna live on
dungeon.
this stoop forever.
Yeah, we'll just live in this townhome and rent. I mean, like maybe we'll get a house, but I'm not pushing it. Like it's not like something I have to have right now.
You're not like, babe, look at this.
She wants to nest, and I totally get it. And you're gonna have to up your game, which means get a better routine. You have to get more capacity out of yourself that you don't think you can do.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, the last like 3 years, every year I'm like, I can't fuck it. I'm so stressed out. I can't do any more things. And then I end up figuring it out. Like you figure out how to do that. And unfortunately, a lot of it is the stuff that you get made fun of for being a corny dad or something.
Right.
Because I'm like, oh, I can't watch NBA, NHL. I can't watch MLB nearly as much. Those things. I try to write a joke about just like when you get older, like you just give up a sport that you used to like every year.
Different things start to matter, and I think that's what it comes down to. It's kind of with so many things change so fast in these sports. And I don't mean to dissect this completely and go on a tangent, but with sports, things change so dramatically, so quickly. You have to keep up with it. At minimum, you have to keep up with it once a week, or you're out. Right. You can't get into any guy conversation anywhere, or you're just going to look like a fool.
All I know is Steph Curry's the best player in the league.
It's kind of all I don't know much about basketball. I know that, and I feel like that's about all. Kobe's retiring. Steph Curry's the best player in the league. LeBron's still with Nike. I think that's all you need to know.
And you can college basketball 10 years ago. Like just is out.
Yeah, and I like college more than the NBA, but I stopped watching basketball so long ago.
Well, it's like the making a murder.
Don't ask me what the Magic are doing right now. I've no idea. Dwight?
Don't ask me what the Heat are doing. I don't know. I'm a Heat fan. Yeah. Well, you like Orlando. Okay. Yeah. As a city, which one's better?
Oh, God. That's a terrible question.
As two guys from Tampa.
That's a terrible question
You
to
chose
ask.
Orlando over Miami. Oh, Miami's the shit.
I mean, Miami's better, but it's
Have you been to a game?
No, because I don't like basketball. I've been to 2 Magic games my whole life.
Well,
I didn't have a good time at either one of them.
Let me put it this way. You're about to be a married man, but every woman that's at the Heat game is wearing white pants and is super hot.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And there's like a Cuban like guys in the middle of the
even if you haven't worked up a buzz yet, you still like that type of thing.
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
that quick you like, you know.
I wish it was my
thing.
ringtone. It's one of those things where the Heat game I went to the final game. The finals that they lost.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Against the Mavericks. they lost by 30 points because everybody.
Good Lord.
Or I mean, like they blew a 30-point lead or some crazy shit.
Okay. I was about to say a 30-point loss in the finals. I don't know a lot about basketball. That's
Game
rare.
6, no, Game 4, something.
Okay.
When they play the Mavericks, and it was the biggest blown lead in finals history, but
That's
no
good.
one knew because everyone's so fucked up. It was the coolest thing I've ever been to. Everyone's so fucked up, and it's like I remember like someone like, "Hey, we're about to lose this," and it's like, "What?"
We should pay attention.
It's like, "Oh shit!"
The thing I remember about the Heat, and again, if you're new to the show, this is what happens.
Yeah, tangent highway.
So just don't turn it off, but just maybe turn it down for a second, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing I remember about the Heat games that I really liked, and this has nothing to do with sports, or maybe it does, is they would play the White Stripes, Seven Nation Army, as kind of their like pump up song, like before the games, and kind of get hyped to.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember watching that on TV during the finals one year, and like literally getting chills. Like watching it on TV, being like, "This is pretty badass.
Oh, yeah.
This is pretty cool." And then they go out and play basketball, and I'm like, "Nah, it's basketball." And they all just complain.
This is one of the best teams of all time in
Yeah,
NBA
whatever.
history.
It ain't 72-10. I'll tell you that. We might get one of those this year, though, from what I've heard.
Okay. Well, I think we got to close it out. This is a meandering podcast episode, but that's fine. We're basically, this is telling you things you kind of already know, and I like listening to a lot of not motivational talk, but I like listening to entrepreneurial people that look, we know a lot of people know what to do.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes you got to listen over and over and over again to be like, before it kind of clicks, or just remind yourself.
Yeah.
Look, we all know we shouldn't have as much sugar in grains. Yeah. We all know we should work out more and harder, progressively harder, and stretch every day. Sometimes it's that we'll be the little fairies. Yeah, we're little fairies. Yeah. And
we got on wings right now. Wait till the video cast comes out.
Oh yeah.
We got wings.
Oh yeah. We'll be those little fairies that are like, hey, just keep up with your shit. Just get some sleep.
Yeah.
Don't watch too much of Making a Murderer to ruin your whole fucking week, because girls do that.
Which I'm gonna most likely. I have 2 more episodes, and then I have some of like the outtakes and stuff to watch that I want to check out.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, don't do the thing. Like, give yourself a cutoff. Like you're a booze hound almost.
Right.
Like, don't go like, oh, I'm gonna crush out. I almost did this last night. I'm gonna crush out another 4 episodes, but I'll be up till 3, and then I'll be tired all day. Why? Why?
Because
Netflix is always there.
Because I get to fake sleep
Right.
for 20 minutes.
Right, and I won't even get good sleep. By the way, forgot to bring up. Don't put the dogs in the bed. It's ruining my life. All right. Catch us on iTunes. I think we're on Stitcher. Anything else you got?
Nope, that should be it for now. And the one thing I did want to mention, though, is this is a lot of stuff people might already know. If you don't know it, we're glad to provide that for you. But the one thing to keep in mind is that you're not alone, and that's kind of what we want to do with this podcast. And kind of our goal is to show you you're not alone with with these things you go through in business and your job and all that sort of stuff in life. So you need a place to come feel safe.
This isn't your safe
Come
space.
to the podcast. Okay?
It's not a safe space.
Yes, it is.
Like,
you can talk. You're safe here. Okay?
Like pussy liberal kids, but it is a place. If you have
don't come here if you're getting bullied.
If you have questions, hit us up on our Facebook page. Email us. If you want us to talk about something, hey, I found an article. You can hit me up on Twitter. I don't think you're on Twitter. Instagram, whatever.
Twitter.
You can find Law Smith. You probably have to type in comedian, big forehead, and I'll pop up on whatever social media. Caleb's on some of that, not all of it.
Yeah.
But tocoworks.com. You can contact us through that.
That's right.
And ask any questions. I'm trying to time it out so we get this outro music kicking. I've got about couple minutes left. Hey, do us a favor. If you made it this far, just like Red and Shawshank Redemption, why don't you go a little bit further and subscribe, give us a review, tell a friend, tell your mama, tell your mom, hey, I'm listening to something that's this is my Malcolm Gladwell book. This is my Adam Carolla's Take a Knee. Yeah, this is This is my Tony Robbins session that I'm doing every week. I'm trying to work on me, trying to get a little bit better. I want to be more entrepreneurial.
That's what it's all
I hate
about.
my office job. I hate my boss. I hate my desk. I hate that guy that comes up and talks to you when you're in the zone working.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that guy. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, we're here for you. Keep it real.